The SCP universe is truly so vast. It contains various short stories, scientific documents, games, videos, and movies. All of these forms of media related to SCPs have an origin. It could be a video shot in the Rocky Mountains, a game set in the tundras of Siberia, or a scientific document based on an expedition in the Paris catacombs. So this got me thinking, how many SCPs are on each continent? How many are in every country or even state? There has to be a lot of them all around you and me, right? Well, today, I'm here to try and answer that question. But where do I start? Do I go to California, an insane hub for sites? Or maybe I should head over to Europe and its smattering of countries? How about we start in my region, the Midwest, in the Great Lakes state of Michigan. Michigan is the glove state, famous for fishing, touching the most Great Lakes of any state, Detroit, and being the old global center for the automotive industry. As it's the 10th highest population state of 2023, it's understandable why the Foundation would set up a site here. So let's go through that site and some of the notable SCPs found in Michigan. Lansing, Michigan is home to Site 11, also known as the SCP Foundation Midwestern Research and Manufacturing Facilities. Founded on August 9, 1925, this site aims to be a research hub for industrial and manufacturing facilities and house SCPs. The site director is Dr. Jordan Lee Graham, and a pictured head of security is Major Jason Iden. We have an international airport, manufacturing and supply plant for General Motors, a McDonald's, Dollar General, and various apartment complexes to hide this underground facility. Because there are so many businesses above the site, the Foundation hires local civilians to assist in running them and aid in the manufacturing plants. So yeah, you could have your Uncle Jim who lives down the road, who gets paid in Big Macs and gets to make super nukes and missiles. So yeah, the Foundation does crazy stuff with its money. Under them we have 3 sections, labeled A, B, and C. Section A contains 2 hangar bays and 5 floors. Most floors are for storage, construction, and one even has monorail access to Section C. Section B is underneath the General Motors manufacturing plant and has 9 floors. It also has manufacturing bays, some test equipment, research labs, site dorms, and also monorail access to Section C. Section C is the furthest underground and has 12 floors. Floors 1 through 8 are monorails to Sections A and B, research labs, and dorms. Floors 9 through 12 is where the fun is at. Floor 9, we have safe and Euclid containment, and floors 10 through 12, we have Keter class containment. Although these floors do contain SCPs, these are only temporary places as their primary purpose is for research. Site 11 may only be temporary housing for SCPs, but there are currently 6 contained at the time of writing. Let's start off with the safe object class SCPs. SCP-068 appears to be a single wire stick figure of an unknown metal. 068 becomes activated when it comes into contact with an electrical current. This then begins its cycle, the hunt for any metal. 068 can detect any nearby metal and will go to it if it's possible in its current form. When the metal is found, it will create a copy of itself, restarting the same process. This doesn't seem that bad, right? Just a little metal guy creating other little metal guys. But wait, we haven't even hit Phase 2 yet. Phase 2 begins when there are 102 metal figures, or if it runs out of nearby metal. 068 then begins to combine itself into a giant figure with the original at the center. Once fully formed, the process restarts infinitely on the hunt for metal. The next safe class SCP is SCP-986. SCP-986 is a manuscript titled The Absent Willows, written by William Faulkner. It contains 1,208 pages, one part being an actual story and the other being a supplementary section. In the larger supplementary section, typewritten text will appear at random intervals. The text will have repeating 6-character text, but doesn't have any understandable content. Some text has been ciphered using a book cipher with a key from the 1942 edition of Go Down Moses. The last safe class SCP at Site 11 is SCP-6477. 6477 doesn't have a physical form, but is a phenomenon affecting human corpses. 6477 has 3 kinds of events: Antigone, Creon, and Pharaoh. During Antigone events, 24 hours after someone's death, 6477 will be placed using the deceased's beliefs and culture. Say someone wanted to be buried in Spain, then that location would appear as a quote on the tombstone or burial of choice. If an attempt to move the body is made, a Creon event will occur 24 hours later. 6477 will attempt to return to its original location unless the new spot is deemed appropriate. Once it returns, it morphs the area around it to make it impossible to remove again. The last event is the Pharaoh event, which follows the Creon event. All who had a hand in moving 6477 will suddenly die. Next up, we have the Euclid class SCPs. 1749-1 is a control pad with a screen and keyboard. When a user types send and hits enter, 1479-2 spawns somewhere around the United States. 1479-2 will be a 6'6" white guy between the ages of 24 and 36 who has a redacted name. Each one will carry one black business suit, size 46 dress shoes, a silver wristwatch, a fully loaded handgun, and a potassium cyanide pill. Once fully realized, they immediately find the nearest human and eliminate them via gunshot. If their gun is somehow lost, they attempt to kill them by any means necessary. After their job is complete, they swallow the cyanide pill. There was only one documented case of 1749-2 failing to end itself. It was captured by the Foundation and interviewed. The second Euclid class SCP is a lot less grim, as SCP-4332 is a dairy cow made of dairy products. Its skin is made of whipped cream, its blood is milk, and it has ice cream organs. Although its appearance is strange, it acts just like a normal cow. You might think, what would happen if you would take a chunk from its body? Well, the piece that you take off will stay intact, and the SCP won't be in any pain at all. The removed section will regenerate over 2 hours. The most disgusting part about 4332 is that it can be milked, if you like steak that is. Each milking process will give you a heaping ton of steak, equivalent to that of one fully sized cow. The final contained SCP at Site 11 is SCP-5015, an Archon level SCP. 5015 looks like a clay compass rose with ancient Greek symbols engraved on its back. It's made up of 5 total parts. 4 are pointers to north, south, east, and west, and the 5th is the centerpiece. When separated from each other, they glow a light cyan. When combined, each pointer will glow distinctively to lead the user somewhere. Foundation members seem to think that this points to Daedalus's labyrinth. We've completed the facility, discussed the structure of the town, covered the different underground sections, and even described the contained SCPs. Surely that is all Michigan has to offer, right? If that were the case, that'd be a bit disappointing. We got what, 6 total SCPs for the entire state? Of course we're not done. These other ones just aren't contained. SCP-072 is a shadowy projection of a hand originally found in an apartment building in a redacted city of Michigan. 072 can be located when someone enters REM sleep in an infected bed and their feet or foot are exposed to open air. Once these conditions are met, 072 appears from under the bed frame and begins to tap the person's feet until they awaken, which then triggers sleep paralysis. 072 then begins to cut portions of the person's feet and takes the chunk back into the bed. This process repeats until the entire foot or feet are gone. 072 also infects any nearby beds, which will spawn another 072 in it. Next up is SCP-2099, the brain of a deceased Jeremy Valdez, and recovered machinery equipment found in a warehouse in Detroit, Michigan. The machinery includes storage units containing electronic devices, parts, and thousands of pieces of paper referred to as 2099B. 2099A, the brain in a jar of fluid, can build additional parts and tools that currently don't follow our scientific knowledge. Some examples of the machines that it has built include a force field generator that cannot be examined at this time, as 2099 has forgotten how to disengage the device. 713 different laser guns in a bin labeled 713 different laser guns, and a cannon that fires clogged shoes that release human-sized robots armed with swords and metal nunchucks. The final Michigan SCP is 1775. 1775 is an abandoned, redacted department store in Detroit, Michigan. It shows normal decay signs similar to buildings in the area, but doesn't have any signs that squatters have ever set foot in it. From 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., all decay and disrepair will be stored to its original state. 1775 will then spawn several humanoid spectral entities who each have a set path and a behavior for the day, and nothing you do will change it. After 8 p.m., all entities will despawn and revert to how they looked before 9 a.m. If you're left inside, you will be lost to the SCP forever. There you have it, just a glimpse into the wider world of the SCPs of Michigan. Obviously, I couldn't cover every city, SCP, character, all of that, but my overall goal was to get people interested in looking this stuff up, writing their own story, because that's what I love about this. The fact that someone can write a story from anywhere in the world and it'll just be added, it'll become the lore of the community. It's an extremely unique factor to the SCP community, and that's why I returned. Hopefully, in the future, I can cover the rest of the United States, get to other countries, and hopefully complete this globe, complete the sphere. Ideally, I would also like to expand this idea to different communities or stuff like that. Maybe hit cryptids at some point. Maybe hit other stuff that I don't even know. Do that at some point in the future, because I enjoy doing stuff like this, researching and yapping about random things. But that's about all I've got for today. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you want a specific spot to be covered or a different like community or something to be covered, consider leaving a comment down below. Follow all my socials that I have. I'll hopefully be doing more with those in the future, but that's about all I've got for today. Hopefully you're having a good one.